There's no single right way to grieve, but when there's no opportunity at all, no goodbye, no ritual, no reflection, it can leave something behind that lingers far longer than expected. It's something that we've come to see and recognise in families time and time again. We call it stunted grief.
So there was no opportunity for any of us to go and visit him and see him one last time and say our goodbyes that way. He was just taken and gone. And then about a fortnight later, we got a phone call to say you can come and pick him up now. So my brother-in-law and got in the car, drove, and came back with this white cardboard box. And that was it.
What was meant to be simple ended up feeling empty, a sense of finality without farewell. And what's left is often confusion, sadness, and questions that have nowhere to go.
They've just sat there because we just haven't done anything, and I think it's really difficult because I would really love to be able to celebrate something of his life, to say goodbye to him properly, to allow that opportunity for my husband and my children especially, because they're finding it really difficult. And it doesn't matter how many times we talk about granddad or dad, we haven't actually put him anywhere to rest. There's nowhere to visit.
As internationally renowned grief counsellor Dr. Bill Webster says, grief support means helping people redefine life as it now is and make the most of what they still have. But when there's no goodbye, it can be hard to move forward. That grief stays stuck, and it shows up in different ways. Sometimes days, sometimes months, and even years later.
Doing something gives you that opportunity to say what you want to say and to start a grieving process and to go through the motions. And because we've not done that, I feel that there's a lot of unsaid and undone things that we need to do to enable us to say goodbye to him properly and to actually move on from where we are. I'm not suggesting we're going to forget him and that we're not going to continue to talk about him and the amazing times we've had with him and what a wonderful person he was. But I think we need to sort of put something in place to allow us to say that goodbye, to enable us to enter the next phase of our grief. Especially, like I say, for the family, it's just been really difficult, and things in the world can be quite triggering when you've lost somebody, and they remind you of them, and things happen, and it is a difficult process for anybody to go through. And the fact that they've not had some kind of finality to his life really hasn't really allowed them to fully accept his death.
This is what we mean by stunted grief. When the natural emotional process of mourning is interrupted, not by choice, but by circumstance. And it's no one's fault, but it does mean families often feel lost, long after the moment has passed.
I mean, he wasn't a party animal or anything like that, but I think, if we could maybe just go for a walk around the woods. He loved walking around the common when he was younger and more able-bodied. Go out and have a chicken New Yorker with half a pint. That was his favourite food. And then, do something with the ashes. I think that would just be, as a small family unit, for us all to pull together and do that. I think that would be a really fitting way to say goodbye to him.
A farewell does not have to be elaborate. It can be as gentle as a gathering with your loved ones, playing their favourite music, sharing stories, a meal, or a moment of stillness. What matters is not how much is spent, but that something is done. That's why we've created the Barsby Service Chapel. It's a calm, flexible space where you can say goodbye in whatever way feels right, without any pressure or time restrictions. A moment to pause, a place to remember, a chance to move forward with peace.
My children all grieved differently as they would, and they can go a few weeks and everything's fine, and then they see something and they'll have an outburst of anger, or they'll just suddenly burst into tears, and you then have to ask yourself, is this teenage hormones? Is this their granddad? Is this something that's happened at school? How can I help? How can I support? And 9 times out of 10, these sudden changes, it's because something has reminded them of him, and they don't know how to process it. They don't know what to do.
Grief, especially for children, needs an outlet, a space to reflect, a way to say, this happened, he mattered, we remember. Without that, it can sit beneath the surface and show up in ways we don't expect. It's never too late to have a meaningful goodbye. Whether it be a week or a year, there is always a way to pause, to gather, and to honour someone's life.
So it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It doesn't have to be a full fanfare, because that's not what he wanted. But to do nothing, I just feel that it's sad, really, because, you know, we could spend the day doing things that he loved, things that he enjoyed, and remembering and making some memories of that for us to reflect on as well, knowing that we've said goodbye.
That's what we're here for, to give you space, support, and the reassurance that it's okay to want more than a simple goodbye, because saying goodbye matters.